Hello and welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the different levels of development and health for the Enneagram 5. This will be a three-part series. Today we are covering the bottom three, levels 7, 8, and 9 in the unhealthy realm. What I want to challenge you with is not to immediately go to, oh, I'm just going to pay attention to what the healthy or the number one levels of development are for the fives. Figure out where you're at and take one step forward. Try to look at what is one thing that you can identify to move yourself one step up. We're never going to jump that gap all at once. It will be done just one step at a time. If you have not yet seen the video about the upcoming, I guess it's the book club that we're going to be doing here, I will link to that below. Now let's jump on in. Up to number 7. The isolated nihilist. Just to be all on the same page, is a person who believes that life is meaningless and rejects all religious and moral principles. Unhealthy fives throughout the baby with the bathwater. Faith, hope, love, kindness, and friendship, all extraordinarily difficult for them to believe in because of their fear of involvement with others. Attachment to others is too threatening at this stage, so unhealthy fives must justify their isolation by becoming nihilistic and cynical about all relations, indeed, about the value of humanity itself. Unhealthy fives may still be brilliant or talented, but their nihilism destroys any chance of them doing anything constructive with their abilities. They tear down everything in their lives, devaluing and rejecting all their attachments to the world. Fives at this level tend to burn their bridges behind them, ending friendships, quitting their jobs, and emptying out all but the barest necessities in lives. In other words, to hell with everything. If you're at this level, you will neglect yourself physically. Alcoholism and other forms of substance abuse are quite common at this stage. Since most people are repulsed by this kind of behavior, the isolation of the fives rapidly deepens, which is exactly what unhealthy fives want. But still at this level, still at level 7, they want to accomplish something in the world, but their bleak, cynical attitude does not allow them to engage in any activities that might improve their situation. The result is they do nothing, and intensity of their own minds begins to devour them. Moving to level 8, still in the unhealthy category, is the alien. They begin to feel that the world is closing in on them and that it will show them no mercy. At this stage, fives have reduced their activities and their living conditions to the point where there is nowhere left to retreat. They may be living in a single room and almost never venture forth from it. The neurotic fives may begin to be incapacitated by phobias, hallucinations, experience their bodies as aliens. Neurotic fives cannot rest or sleep or distract themselves because they must be vigilant, and because they cannot turn off their minds. As a result, they become physically exhausted, which only compounds their problem. Even average fives have trouble sleeping, but unhealthy fives literally cannot sleep. Their minds have become like a light bulb with more electricity coursing through its filament that is designed to handle 500 watts through a 100-watt bulb. Their thoughts blaze with terrifying intensity, which is rapidly burning up. Lean in for this one, level 8. Getting help would also be the final confirmation of their own uselessness, their own inability to cope. They are likely to avoid or flee anyone reaching out to them. That one particularly struck me because we do sometimes have a hard time asking for help, don't we? Level 9, at the most unhealthy level, this level 9, the lowest level, is described as the Imploding Schizoid. All is emptiness within the abyss of the purged self. Fives attempt to use the same defenses they've used all along, detachment and compartmentalization. But at this stage of pathology, these methods are ineffective at holding their fears at bay. Fives tend to commit suicide because they see life as meaningless and horrifying. There is simply no point in continuing to exist. This is obviously the most unhealthy level of 5. Unhealthy fives solve the problem of how to control their minds, especially overwhelming anxiety produced by their consuming phobias, by unconsciously splitting the conscious into two parts. They have an inner emptiness, and if they continue to live this way, in all probability into a form of schizophrenia. The irony is, however, that fives retreat from reality to gain the time and space to build their confidence and ability to deal with life, but they ultimately destroy their own confidence and talents, even their own life, through their fear and isolation. I hope that there aren't too many traits of these unhealthy levels of fives for you in your life. If there is, I encourage you to identify what those are and figure out what steps you can take to improve on those. In the next part of our series, in video 2, we will be exploring the average level of fives. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.